just walk out of the building, and immediately they start with the sirens. Anyhow, I've been upstairs. Of course, they've been having me on the remote monitoring and the illegal surveillance. But you know, hey, it is what it is. As I was saying, I was saying something I think I had brought up here and I forgot to finish what I was saying. But anyhow, I was speaking to her on, see the clown coming out of the building right there, looking at his watch as he comes out. Look. Right, so again, just to show you how they try to mask their targeting. Right, yeah, what do you feel? You feel like the farm, buddy? Okay. Anyhow, this is how they try to mask their target and talk about how these racist predator cops will try to, they'll walk up to me and look at their watch. So they got the Sambos and the Coons. Oh, look, new vehicle, PC 320883. See that? There you guys. You'll always find vehicles with the number 32 in it. Yeah, that's good, because I am going to sue for $332 trillion. And like I said, I have not mastered the 32 degrees of masonry yet. Though I'm not a mason, but I'm talking about the knowledge, right? So I'm talking about the hidden knowledge, right? This is what they're afraid of people getting knowledgeable, becoming more, making more common sense decisions based off of truth, not lies, right? And coming out of under the mental slavery of religion. So they don't want that to happen. So anyhow, so Saturday I was talking to Pat. She's telling me about the show. This dating show I was talking about, where people go on, people in relationships will go on television. They will break up, right? Go on this television show, date other people, and then at the end of the show they decide whether they stay together or not. And I'm like, they gotta find, they gotta find very toxic people who will go on these shows, because these people are looking for attention. They're looking for attention, and they're ruining their relationships just by going on these shows. But again, these things trickle down into the society, right? Particularly, like I said, whatever they do to black people, eventually it'll trickle to other communities. The Hispanic, the Arabs, the Asian community, right? So when you see particularly black women walking away from their relationship for stupid reasons and end up being the second or third rotation in a man who they think, who they want, or who is only dating them, And again, when you're younger, I can excuse that behavior. But when you're 50, in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, and you're still behaving like this, it's ridiculous. And it shows you that women age backwards, and that saying about women mature earliest, that's not true anymore, right? Because now what they've done is, again, as the women get older, they mature backwards in the head. They're not, I'm saying not sure they mature backwards, but their minds go back to being teenagers again, to being in their 20s again. That's the mindset. So they will leave a good relationship, chasing someone who is, again, not even going to take them seriously, and they settle for dinners and hotels, or dinner and his place for the night, and that's it, right? No commitment, no nothing. Meanwhile, they're catching STDs left and right, and they don't care, because again, it's a mindset. It's a conditioned mindset. All right, and they figure the more they put up with it, that the more this man is going to choose them. And what they don't understand, that no, the more you put up with it is the more that you're showing him how stupid you are and how much he can use you even more. Okay? Because eventually that man is going to find a younger woman, right? Who's not as jaded, who's not as old, right? Who has a fit, younger body, right? Who's more fertile, right? And particularly if he doesn't have any kids. So if he wants kids, his only option is going to be younger women. And I'm trying to get these women to understand what's going on. You know, a lot of brothers are trying to get women to understand what's going on, right? So somehow I deviated the conversation to, because she was like, well, we got into a conversation about the amount of black doctors they have. And she's like, well, there's 50 doctors in where I work. And I'm like, 50 black doctors. I'm like, well, Pamela, again, using your Andol experience, you're making it seem that there's a lot of black doctors. Like how many people live in New York City? How much of them are black, how much of them are white? And just look at the percentage in terms of who are doctors, the amount of black doctors and the amount of white doctors. But they always want to lead with their Andol experience. So she's like, why does it matter? I said, it matters for you to know the truth, because go by what your Andol experience and what you believe, right, doesn't add up to the reality. So all throughout the United States, it end up being little less than 1 million doctors, right? And I talk about all specialty. Okay? Now there should be at least 1 million more, at least. Okay? But there's not. Why? Because we don't push our children into those fields. We don't push our children into the STEM field, into the medical field. More so we push them into, fields that has to do with, let's say, liberal arts, right? Liberal arts and all this other nonsense, right? And I say nonsense because it is nonsense, because you're not going to be paid the kind of money to live comfortably with a liberal arts degree, right? You need an engineering degree. You need a finance degree. You need a technology degree. You need those sort of things, right? A mathematics degree, for you to really be taken seriously and make that kind of money. But we're not our medical degree. We're not pushing our children into those fields. So when I said to her, because you got 50 doctors in your hospital, that doesn't mean that there's a lot of black doctors in New York. Okay? I mean, come on. We know, like I said, there's of all the doctors, black doctors make up 3%. Right? All the psychiatrists, black psychiatrists make up 4%. Right? In tech, black tech companies or tech people who are actually doing something really big make up 7%. Like they just don't get it. Some of these women, they live in a fantasy, and because they don't look at the numbers, so she, the reason, and then so she finally looked at the numbers, and she's like, and I said, well, there you go. I said, now you can talk to me about it, right, without using your Andol experience. Now you can actually give me the numbers so that we can have a constructive discussion on the topic. Because if you're going to give me an Andol experience, then it's not constructive and it's not based on reality. All right? So yeah. Anyhow, I'll talk to you guys in the video.